Jarret Allen of the Cleveland Cavaliers just signed a 3-year, $91 million extension to stay with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And me being a Cavs fan myself, I'm very happy to see this. The Cavs have done a lot of things this summer in terms of keeping the core together. People were feeling that after this year's playoffs that Donovan Mitchell was not going to want to sign, and then Darius Garland was going to get traded, and everything was going to fall apart. And the piece that was, sent off in a different direction was our head coach, J.B. Bickerstaff, and we acquired Kenny Atkinson from the Golden State Warriors. And it seems like Colby Altman, the president of basketball operations for the Cleveland Cavaliers, believe that they can run it back with the same team and find more success. They did take the Boston Celtics. They did take a game from the Boston Celtics in the second round without Donovan Mitchell and Jarret Allen, which is two of the four pieces. And you can argue that Jarret Allen and Donovan Mitchell were the two best pieces for the Cavs last season. Jarret Allen had a very impressive season last year, and he played the 81 consecutive games before the rib injury had him out, but he averaged 16.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 2.7 assists last season. And during the playoffs, he played even better. 17 points per game, 13.8 rebounds, and 68% shooting in only 4 games. But it was his big question mark was if he was still going to show up in the playoffs after him and Evan Mobley did not show up at all against the New York Knicks back in 2023. So pretty much this $91 million is going to turn into $131 million over the next 5 seasons because he's currently under a 2-year contract. So on top of this one, he's going to be making like $31 million a year, I believe, after next season. Donovan Mitchell staying for 5 years. They just recently extended Evan Mobley for another 5 years, a rookie max contract, I believe, and they signed Garland to a rookie max contract 2 years ago, I believe. So this is the core they're going to stay with, and this is the most we've seen so far really from the team besides Kenny Atkinson being acquired as their new head coach. And I think it could honestly turn out really well. I've seen the videos of Kenny Atkinson, and he seems like, although J.B. Bickerstaff was a very strong defensive coach, the offenses never really came to fruition at the times we needed it. The offense got very, very stale, and it was really rough to watch. So I'm hoping that Kenny Atkinson can get something out of these guys, because there's no reason why you have 3 all-stars and 1 potential all-star or defensive player of the year caliber player, and not have a at least top 15 offense in the league. The Cavs were like the bottom half of the league in offense last year, but they were like top 7, I believe, or top 10 at least in defense. So defensively, they've been solid, but it's just been the offense that's been hurting them. And you could have made an argument that in the games against the Boston Celtics, a couple of those games, we had a good fight in almost every single game. And that was the most we could have asked for, being down Donovan Mitchell and Jarret Allen. But, the big thing about Jarret Allen is that Jarret Allen is not very much of a loud guy. People don't really talk about Jarret Allen, and people kind of forget that he was an all-star in 2022. Yes, it might just be a hometown bias because the all-star game was in Cleveland, but there was a stretch during January when Garland and Evan Mobley were out that Donovan Mitchell and Jarret Allen were just tearing up people. He had 42 double-doubles last season, and I believe he had almost more than half the games he had a double-double, but he also had a stretch, I believe, of like 16 games straight with a double-double, and he's breaking a lot of Cavaliers records, so Allen had 42 double-doubles last season, and that was the most by a Cavs player since LeBron James in 2017-2018. And he's also very, very efficient. He's him and Giannis were one of two players that averaged 15 points on at least 60% shooting. So, kind of like how Daniel Gafford is, I would say he's a better Daniel Gafford. His defense is very good. Daniel Gafford's defense is good too. But Jarret Allen him and Evan Mobley have a great dynamic on the defensive end of the ball. The big question mark is figuring out how to get Jarret Allen and Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell working better and all that kind of stuff. But I'm happy to see Allen staying, and the fact that he is getting paid now. He will be getting paid $31 million a year. If there was a situation later, like a couple years down the line, where they were looking for a trade, $31 million a year is a very tradable salary, so they wouldn't have to make up too much money if they were to want to shop him for other options. So it's, they increase his value. So, it's a good business decision if anything were to happen. So it's a win-win on both sides. I'm looking forward to see the team run it back. Although I would like to see them add a new piece to the team to see, what we can add. I do like their pick, Jalen Tyson, but I don't see him being a starting three early in his career or early the next season. And I don't know if Max Strus being at the three is going to cut it. But, they got time to figure it out. And we'll see what happens. But, I'm happy to see Jarret Allen is staying. And, comment down below what you guys think and how you feel about this extension. And if you think this, obviously, it doesn't really change much about the Cavs or whatever, but who you think the Cavs should go after next to make them more of a contender. I honestly don't. It's hard to put them over Boston, and it's hard to put them over Philly. But I feel like you could make an argument that they could be better than the Knicks. But right now they're kind of hovering around a 3 or 4 spot, or you could argue 4 or 5, depending on if the Bucks come back and play better. So the Eastern Conference is going to be crazy. The Orlando Magic, I believe, is probably going to be better. I don't know too much about how their offseason was going, and they gave the Cavs a lot of work last year. So again, I'm just happy to see some positive momentum, and it gives a kind of a comfortability level at least, and and gives you not to worry about who's going to stay and who's not going to stay. They can now focus on the core and focus on building what they need to be able to be a contender, and I believe they can do it. So as I said before, comment down below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.